You ready for us?
I hear you. I can hear you, yes.
All right. Let's start with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Patrick. You mentioned after the game that the Ravens showed you a look that maybe you hadn't seen on film. Coach Belichick has made a living really off of that. I was wondering how you and Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid go through the process of preparing for maybe things that aren't on film. How do you go about that?
Yeah, it takes a lot. I mean, being able to watch all what they've done this year, being able to watch what they've done multiple years in the past. I mean, luckily for us, we've played them a good amount of times now, so we can see all the different types of stuff that they presented us and offenses like us. And so, there's going to be unscouted stuff. There's going to be stuff that he's going to throw out there. I mean, that's why he's one of the best coaches of all time. And so we have to make sure that we are able to make adjustments quickly and find ways to not have negative plays and have positive ones, even if it's unscouted.
Let's go next to Karen Kornacki. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Patrick.
How are you doing?
Great. What a great year for you. I mean, first of all, you're the Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. You beat Baltimore. You show who's the top quarterback, and then you announce you're going to be a dad. I mean, can you put in perspective just all this great stuff for you, and, of course, the most important thing being a dad?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely exciting. I mean, being able to kind of grow up and have these dreams of having a family and playing in the NFL, and for that stuff to start happening and really coming into truth and everything like that. I mean, it's really cool. And so I'm just excited that I have a lot of great people around me, and I'm in a great organization, and I'm able to live out these dreams day by day.
Let's go next to Herbie. There you go, Herb. Go ahead.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Hey, in light of everything that's going on right now in Tennessee and Minnesota, and I know you've got some pretty strict protocols that you approach how this pandemic is going. How much have you reflected back on these last 24, 48 hours on things that you need to do to maybe tighten up some safety protocols?
I honestly feel like us as an organization has done a great job of holding each other accountable. I mean, it's something that can happen to anybody. You don't look down on anybody that it's happening to, but it's kind of the way 2020 and the world has been. But I feel like Rick and his staff and the whole organization has done a great job of keeping us socially distanced, making us wear masks, even when people try to slip and not wear them, but making sure that they're wearing masks, holding each other accountable. And then you just kind of accept what happens. And so I'm just going to make sure that we keep emphasizing that, make sure that we continue to wear our masks, socially distance, and try to prepare ourselves so that we're not harming anyone else or ourselves.
Let's go next to Sam Ellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick, this is a little bit of an off-the-wall question, but you would have been, I think, in sixth grade when the Patriots went 16-0, 18-1. Do you have any memories of watching that team? I'm also curious if that's something that's even 1% on your radar of going undefeated this year.
I have some memories for sure. I mean, when they had Moss and Brady and they were lighting up the scoreboard and then making the run and everything like that. I mean, that was an amazing football team. But I haven't thought that far ahead. I mean, we're just 3-0 right now. I think that if you start thinking like that is when you lose football games. If you look at us last year, we came off a big win against the Ravens and then dropped a few games right there in this kind of October month. And so I think you just have to prepare week by week, day by day, and know that you're going to have a great challenge every single time you step on that football field. And so you can't take anybody for granted, and you have to make sure that you really accept that challenge every single day.
Go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick. Back-to-back road games, empty stadiums, obviously. Just how excited are you to get back to Arrowhead?
I'm very excited. I promise. I'm very, very excited to be there, have the fans there, be in Arrowhead, and kind of feed off that energy. I mean, obviously we've learned to play in the empty stadium and kind of give ourselves our own energy on the sidelines and rooting for each other, but then to have Chiefs Kingdom there with us, rooting us on. I'm excited to be at Arrowhead and be able to play in front of some fans.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick, wanted to ask you about Steve Gilmore. You've played against him a number of times now. What is it about him that stands out to you? And is there something about him that you and any quarterback really needs to know about him when you're playing against him?
I think all the quarterbacks know he's really, really good. That would be the main thing. I mean, he's a guy that's big, he's physical, and he's fast. And being with Coach Belichick, you can really tell that he really understands route concepts. He really understands alignments, what routes guys can run from certain alignments, and I think that's just made him better and better each year. So it's a great challenge for us. That entire defense is of every single time we play them, but he's a guy that you have to know where he's at on the field, and you have to know that he's going to be a physical guy that's going to really contest every single play that you go his way.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Patrick, I was wondering, and I know you're not going up against him, but with Cam Newton, just what are your memories of watching him, and how much, when you were coming up, did you sort of mimic and try to do some of the things that he does?
Yeah, I wish I could do some of the things that he does as far as how physical he is and the way he's able to make plays happen. But he's a great football player. Someone like you said, I watched when he was at Auburn. He actually went to Blinn College, which is down there kind of close to East Texas, and so he played against like TJC and some of those junior colleges. And I see his highlights then when I was back in high school in those days. And so he's a great football player, and he's in a great spot now, and he's playing really good football. So you understand it's going to be a great challenge to go up against this team, knowing that they're going to be able to really move the football, and hopefully our defense is going to come out there and play like they did this last week.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Pat, you just continue to have success against teams that blitz all the time. Just what goes into that success and how you've been able to do so far? And my other question to you is, if there had to be a player who's an uncle to the new baby on the team, who would you trust as the babysitter?
Well, the first question, I probably would say first of the blitz. I think the biggest thing that we do is we prepare. It's all preparation. We really prepare for blitz coverages and different looks, different fire zones, different man blitzes, and we have guys that quicken up the routes and get themselves open. And then whenever we want to take a shot versus the blitz, I think guys do a great job of making sure they make distinct angles where I can throw the ball to space and let them make plays. And we've done a great job of that. And then the second part, as far as like an uncle, I would say like Matt Moore or someone like that that's responsible. I can't let like Trav or anybody do it. I mean, you never know what would happen.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Patrick, congratulations. I wanted to ask you, because you guys are so good at throwing the ball and completing balls downfield, that your defense is one of the best, at least so far this year, at containing teams from not having big plays. When you have Tyrann Mathieu, Juan Thornhill, Dan Sorensen, and even a new guy in Tedrick Thompson, just what do you think that they provide for that defense so that the opposing offense isn't able to get big chunk plays the way you guys are on offense?
I think the biggest thing they provide is they're gonna be right there contesting every single deep pass, and that's the difference maker. Whenever you have guys that are contesting every pass and making it have to be a perfect throw and a perfect catch every single time, it's hard. It's hard on the offense, and so they might give up a catch here and there, but they're going to be right there contesting it, and they take respect and responsibility of making sure that no big plays happen.
We've got time for a couple more guys. We'll go Sam and then Seren. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick. We didn't ask you much about the long touchdown to McCole Hardman after the game. You obviously took a really deep backdrop on that. Was that what you anticipated doing before the snap? I guess, what did you see on that play and also before the play?
Yeah, it was. I think it was one of those kind of looks where they did that kind of package of blitzes that I wasn't expecting, and there was a guy free, and right off the snap, I knew that the guy was going to be able to come free, and I knew we had the coverage over the top that we liked, and so instead of having to like maybe check it down or throw it, I wanted to buy time to let McCole run his route, to put the ball out there, and once I saw him make the first move of the double move, I knew that with his speed he could run underneath it, so I just tried to put it out there as far as I could. It was, as we call it, it was probably a little bit of a toaster. It wasn't a very good spiral, but it got out there enough where he was able to catch it and score.
We'll go last to Seren. Go ahead, Seren.
Patrick, I think your numbers in September are like 32 touchdowns, no INTs, right? They're pretty good in all the months, right? But they're off the charts in September. What do you attribute that success to, and how you guys are able to be so efficient, to start the seasons?
I truly believe it's how we run training camp. I mean, Coach Reed puts us in these situations that are very game-like, that they're very similar to the situations that we really presented in the game, and we're prepared for it. And I think that's a big credit to him and our whole coaching staff, is they put us in situations in training camp that we're prepared for everything right out of the gate. And then now it's about building and keep getting better and carrying that momentum throughout the season.
Patrick, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bradley.
We got Fish coming up next.